because we've got so much creative ideas that we get from God to solve problems. And isn't it cool that we get to solve problems? That's the great part about it. Okay, so I'm sure you're all dying to share what you all found out. So, I'll write, Steffi, are you coming up? Oh, it's not, I'll write it. Just feel free to give your resume. Thank you, Steffi wanted to. So, can you help me write down?
Yes.
Your help. Thank you so much, sister.
I can do that.
Okay. Okay, so, would anyone like to share? What are some ways you all brainstorm about this? What are some ways? Yes, Peter.
I will visit her often and get more connection.
Visit her often
Yeah.
and get more connection. Okay.
Visit her at home, you mean? Like,
Yeah.
okay.
Home visit.
And bring her some food.
Aww. You will cook it. Will you cook it?
Yeah. In real life.
Okay.
Cambodia style.
Best, huh?
No.
If I have a coffee,
Bring her coffee. Invite her for coffee. Yeah. And make sure you pay, right? Because she got no job. Yeah. Be mindful of that too. When you ask them out, right? It's a very good thing. But be mindful of the fact that if they are jobless or all that, it will be on you to do that, and you gotta be, yeah.
We meet her husband.
Meet her husband.
Yeah.
Okay.
And find out what husband thinking and tell husband that your wife had some depression.
Okay.
So maybe his husband can her husband can adjust attitude to.
So maybe from brother to brother, like brother to brother can talk, like?
Yeah.
Or in a role as a counselor, like that you think people should.
Yeah, sometimes pure wife, but must be pure husband before. When pure husband, maybe the wife can heal.
Okay. Yeah, that's a strategy. That could be a strategy.
Involves
Yeah,
husband
involve the
or
husband.
We talk with husband and counseling with husband, and we go with the man and woman go to meet husband. But we have to talk with their own. Say, can we meet your husband?
very
good.
very important
That's
before we
right.
go. Yes.
Yeah.
The IP.
so like because you can imagine, right? Sri Aon meet the counselor only once a week, I think. But after the session, she go back home, and if her husband doesn't understand what's going on in Sri Aon's life, this case, like she's in her depression. So if every day the husband blaming and having expectation, so still, Sri Aon still there. But our group, we discussed how can we ask Sri Aon, the counselor asked Sri Aon, how can we, do your husband understand what's going on with you?
That's right.
How can we
Engage help from the husband or connect with the husband, right? To help him understand her and alleviate the underlying problems. Okay. I just have one thing to emphasize again, like what our Wong said. We need to make sure it's done in an IP way, because many times, like I've experienced also in my case, when I thought about approaching the family member, the client doesn't want it. So yeah, we can definitely ask straight on or your client, but be mindful too. If that they say no, don't be like, because sometimes there could be issues underlying. Then we work with the client at tackling her problems as well, because she can actually respond, to this situation, even though it's going to be harder if she doesn't want the husband there or Okay, anyone else? But very good. Thank you very much for that.
Just a little bit adding on husband of Sri Aon. Can we help him in the man group with the church and pastor? Can we deal with that?
A support group?
Yes.
Like to ask him, hey, there's like support
Join
group
in
for
the
him,
man group.
that he gets a support group. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
I think it's the pastor to get him in the group, you know, in separate group, but
Sure.
give him a chance to talk
Okay.
in the same place with
That's
the man
right.
only.
Okay. So I'm going to ask you a question, Debbie. How would you bring him into this support group? How would he get to that support group?
He's not even
I
there.
would
Yeah.
invite him to the church first. Maybe he or
Yeah, if he believer is maybe a friend.
Okay. What if he's,
Non-believer.
yeah. So
difficult.
what if he's a non-believer?
sorry,
What if he's not Christian, a non-believer?
non-believer.
And what if he's, yeah.
I don't
Have
know.
to,
Please
have to
help.
meet carefully with arrangement.
Okay.
Actually, one of them, church member case, it's not exactly like that, but some similar situation. Can see why she really struggle for the all the things. Of course, it's not just something happened exactly Sreyon's case. But when we bring to husband, of course, outside, you know, what he confesses is the Christian, but the way who this one surely is not. If you really born again Christian, how come, you know, he is even throw away, don't care of the, you know, wife, how wife is a struggle, but husband trying to not understand her feeling. Since he said, you know, and then we also, he say he's a Christian also, join church worship service. But whatever he do seems like a non-believer. It's a don't care of, you know, whatever you know, he's feeling, just explore, you know. And then we try to bring the church, especially bring to join him as the men's fellowship. He don't want it.
Yeah.
He don't want it.
Yeah, he
this
wouldn't
is
want
okay.
it,
He
yeah.
really don't want it.
So-
no, this is right, but he's a, you know, if come to church, is, you know, he know that that is right, but he himself know that his action is not right. He don't want to, you know, take out this issue, you know, want to show to other, you know, other. Nobody, you know, say something, but he himself thinks that people, you know, judge him. He don't want to bring these things, you know,
Yeah, that's
seems
a
like a
shame.
shame, like that.
Yeah, that's
So
right.
is it really, you know, take a, I think in this case, what I understanding is no need, just one of the church member or person man, you know, those who are, at least, you know, have any contact, you know, any fellowship is not deep enough for one. Try to, you know, visit him is better. It's personally build a fellowship first. After that, maybe involved, bring him to men's fellowship. That is better.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
At least the men's case, if a non-believer, also what I think, people try to have their family situation, especially if, you know, certain economic, you know, problem, it's like that. Surely he also have an eye to see, people try to show the love. So maybe beginning of the part, he don't want to, you know, he have a certain reaction, but after that, something better, he also try to open his heart. So I don't care about any man come and try to talk to him. He just slowly build a fellowship and final maybe destination is bring him to, you know, church,
Yes.
have a, you know,
Okay.
certain.
Yes, we hear you now. So using the CWF, which is what you're meant to apply once this week is over, how would you start? My question was actually targeted at one of the steps. I'm now going to give you a clue. What would you would? Someone said it?
See.
Yes, Devi, correct. You start first by connecting, right? As with all relationships, any friendship, any relationship, you start first by the connection. So, for example, if you said that you invite the husband, but before you do this, you need to see with him, right? Like what Pastor Robert was saying, I see you. I have to see you first. He has to see you first. And that means you might want to start by asking, would it be okay if you want to consider asking your husband to maybe come for the counseling session if he's okay with it. Okay, just to come for the counseling session. With your counseling Sharon, you might ask Sharon, would you consider maybe asking your husband to come, letting him know, yes, working through the client. Because she needs to own her responsibility also for this, not just you. Yeah, that's right. So that's one suggestion. Anyone else? else. But very good. And your key.
I think the pyramid is important, and as I can reflect back to what we have worked with I can say that the victims, the vulnerable children, including the youth and the adult, we use like a spider of relationships regarding to the resource that they got and support them they need. Actually, after working on the pyramid, I think that it's good if we have like working in order to go deeper to the youth side, understanding like what is the priorities of need, people that really emergency inside situation, what kind of support and who that she gonna need, and we can like go deeper to discuss with her. Okay, what kinds of support that you really need from these people. So it's good that we as a counselor need to understand that, so that we can like and help her to identify ways that to get that help themselves or herself.
That's a very good one. Thank you for bringing that up. That's so good. Yeah. Everyone agrees with that, right?
Yes.
It's important for you.
But
So,
I said this is a church response here, and this is a counselor. I mean, what I understand is more like to make a plan. Is more. Is it this? I wasn't sure. Is what would you like answer this
church
question?
or organization. So
What is
respond from, he's from a CEO of his organization,
Right.
NGO.
Yes.
So as an organization, you would consider talking and asking, finding out from the client, right?
Yes.
Like who is in your pyramid that could help you?
Yes.
Yeah.
We normally use like a participatory approach tool, like to identify the need, concern, worry, and also identify the people that gonna be having that or they need,
That's right.
and also prioritize that in this situation, what kind of emergency need from who.
Yes, that's right.
So we have them to identify the relationship also, because
Yeah.
someone that really need maybe that's not close. So
Who can they reach out to
Yes,
for help?
yes.
It's like a self-help kind of thing, or there's a term for it in English, but there are people who don't know how to look for help or don't want to, and then there's a group that is like searching, reaching, but not sure, right? So they need guidance like what you're saying to do that.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so very good, yes. Lee, thank you for that. Very good.
How about if say on case, she has already her own counseling, but after that, a certain NGO, in the NGO also have a counseling part. So she want to, even want to meet the, counseling in NGO. Have a maybe 2 or double. Is it okay for her to look like it?
Talk with her, talk with Leona and ask what would be helpful for her. And we can also offer that and say, hey, I know of a very good NGO. They have a heart, like to really help for people like in your situation. They have a heart for that. They have resources there. Would you be interested to talk with them as well, just to widen your own pyramid? I guess by now you have introduced the concept of pyramid, and you can always ask, which corner do you think is needed, needs a little bit more, like which corner needs support? Ask her.
No, my question is this one.
Oh.
Sreon can have two counselor in different places or one.
Oh.
It's useful for her.
Right.
Sometimes, actually she has her own counselor.
Right.
After that,
Got it.
if any NGO contact with her, I just noticed that in NGO also have their
Got it.
counseling part. If they
Sorry.
work, how is it?
Actually, I want to ask, has anyone had this experience before and it was successful or not successful and would like to share? Anyone has had this experience before?
Have this double kind of thing. But I heard you saying is it okay to have 2 different counselors? This is the question, right?
Yes.
Is that the question?
Yeah. Because of counseling, then she, the very beginning, she made the come to the counselor, right? And after that, we try to, help her. So,
Right.
because of she also have
Right.
economic part. So certain NGO like the Brother etc. So bring here. But I just now noticed that they also have a counseling part.
Right.
Whenever they have the people.
Okay.
So it's really difficult to reject. Oh, I don't want. Because all the It's something happened from
Right.
there.
Okay, if you have this richness of counselor and an NGO, if you have that, it's wonderful, but I would also be careful. One has to be the counselor, okay, and to be clarified, this is the one who works with the Sharon, with her emotional needs, with her what she's working through, confidentiality, she's open up to them, she builds trust, to this one person. The other one, I would maybe say NGO, like more is, can I say, social worker more? To have this kind of this wider picture. Okay, what can we do? You have 2 kids, and you have a hard time to look after them. What can we help for you? Maybe you can bring the kids. We have an activity once a week. You can bring the kids to, so you have a little bit time for yourself. Or I don't know what social workers do, but to have that understanding there are 2 different roles: social workers and counselor.
And even with the social worker, we are not encouraged that we have different people to work with one client. The same people have to be there because trust building already happened.
That's right. It's correct.
Even though even the government sometimes in some locations they have available services of counseling. So we are not force our client to have to get another counseling session, but actually we go to work with that counselor in order to ensure that it is effective, that it works well.
Overlapping, here, it's just
That is so good. Thank you for sharing, because actually before I get to Lina, Holy Spirit just reminded me, it happened in my case where I was referring her to see a professional counselor, my client, and I went with her. I even went for three meetings accompanying her, but after a while she still felt like she wanted to come back and just be with me and get the counseling through me. So that could be a challenge, and it was because of actually finances also. Yeah, so that could be another consideration. Yeah. Okay. Do we have time?
I don't know, but Lina, one last question for you.
Not a question, I want to add on
Right.
because my previous job is working in NGO, in organization. So I am a manager. So in organization, in each organization, some organization they have only just social worker, and some organization they have counselor and social worker. So if the client have a counselor, they don't have to transfer to us at a private company center. So the social worker and counselor they have a different role to work support the client. Yeah. And if that client really high risk and very mentally aggressive, they will transfer, counselor will refer to other place, to hospital or anything. But counselor not go by with client, social worker will go with client.
Okay.
Yeah, not counselor.
It's a definition of role.
Yes.
Social workers do this.
So counselor will just say to the manager, or counselor will just say to the social worker, this client need this. So social worker will bring it to the hospital, like that. Yeah, so the different role. So if my client come to me right now, I'm a counselor here. If I feel like it's a psychosis that beyond my ability, I will refer to other hospital or other places. But not me accompany to client. I need to find the client connection. Who can accompany her to, or who accompany client to.
Because
So
you
I
can't be
can
there
say
for her all
it's
the
a
time.
member who you can trust, a friend or church pastor, or who they can accompany. So we can help her connect and to bring them. Yes, very clear? Okay, good.
Okay, thank you, Nina. That was valuable. Yeah.
Thank you. Also, what you just said right now, that not between counselor and social worker, but counselor and lay counselor. I think I heard it from you too. There's also a little trick here. In lay counselor, you don't need to pay. Counselors, you pay. Lay counselors, they work a little bit different maybe than professional counselors. And so it can be that it happened to me too. That people they start with lay counselors, but then you feel like they should really see somebody, but then they have the connection already, with doing as a lay counselor, and then it gets what to do now here.
Yeah.
And just talk with the clients, make connections with the counselors. Tell this is what it is, and how do we continue from here on, and I could see, I'm not sure how in your place it worked, you can maybe share how it worked in the end.
Oh, Okay, so in the end, she still sees me, but I
Yes.
put boundaries on.
Yes.
As what Claire was mentioning, know your capacity. Don't overextend yourself. You have the right to, because you're not being paid, it's your right to. And you have other things to do if you're a pastor or CEO or you know, working in your own job already. So make sure you limit and you decide how much time you're going to commit to this client within the week. Is it one time, twice, or 3? Maybe that's too much for some. So just know your boundaries, your capacity, and determine it so that you can clearly communicate it to your client and for yourself. Okay? I hope that's clear because my session is up, and now I would like to invite Pastor Jenny actually